So in this video, we are talking about the 3 components of a personal leadership system. And why is that important? Well, because time is the most valuable resource in our lives. And unfortunately, too often, people are not in control of their time and their priorities because they are constantly reacting to what others want from them. And the result is that you are just sitting at your computer, responding to messages all day. You don't even have time to focus on growth strategies, on sales, on growing your business. You don't have time for friends, family, for holidays, and you are just too involved in your business. And the reason is not that there is too much work, because too much work can be delegated to other people, to employees and freelancers, if you have systems in place, right? Otherwise, the results are just random. And to ensure that you get the right quality from your team, you need to have a leadership system for your team. But before you implement that, you first need to have a leadership system for yourself so that you become the boss of your own priorities and of your own time, and that you become a role model for your team. Because look at it like this. Your team looks at you and how you behave. And if you are constantly stressed, if you are constantly all over the place, if you don't have clear priorities, if you don't stick to what you promised and to your timelines, then, well, why should people do? There is no reason, right? They look at you and they mirror you and behave like you. So to become the boss of your time and your priorities and to introduce structured communication to your team, well, these are the 3 components of a personal leadership system, right? It's structured communication, it's time management, and it's priority management. And that all aligns perfectly with each other. And yeah, well, it's a system, right? And the system means that it's not chaos, it's well-structured and well-defined. And now I want to tell you how to build that personal leadership system and what the 3 components are. So, priority management. What does that mean? I know it sounds not sexy, but it's very important because you know that there is always more work than there is time in the day. And you cannot expect to end your day to get all the work done, because then you will end up working days and nights and weekends and on your holidays. But what you need to do is prioritize and get the work done that is most important for revenue growth, client satisfaction, and to ensure your team can work. Everything else, I would say, is second priority. But with all the things going on in the life of a business owner, you might not even have the transparency of your priorities. You don't even see all the work that's on your desk, right? You just see all the emails, you see all the messages, you see all the work in the projects, but you have no idea what's the highest priority. So to get transparency over these priorities, I recommend creating a Trello board, or you can use any task management system, and create columns with the things, with the topics you need to care about. One column, for example, is sales. Another column is marketing. Another column is team management. Another column is administration and accounting, etc. Okay, and for each column, you don't just do the work when something new comes in. You take the work and put it into the column and prioritize it with other items in this column. Okay, so that's only the priority management system. I will give you an idea of how the time management works and how that aligns with your priority management in a minute. Okay, then you have a nicely organized Trello board with all the work categorized by topic, and that allows you to get an overview and transparency over what's going on and what you need to do. And the most important priority is the item on the top of the list. And what typically happens when people do this first, they are wondering, oh my God, there's so much going on and I have so many things to do. And well, that's exactly the problem. But now the difference is you know it and you see it, and you can consciously decide to just put something into the garbage because it was on your list for 3 weeks and nobody cared, or you would just do it because your time management time block becomes active and you just get it done, or you delegate it, or you stop doing it, right? So these are exactly the 4 components on how you can decide what to do with such a work item. And the second part of your personal leadership system is the time management system. And now, as you have already your priority management system with these categories, you need to ensure that you have enough time reserved to care about these topics, right? You want enough time for sales, you want enough time to care about your team, you want some time to care about administration, etc. And you want time for answering messages. Instead of being online all day, answering phone calls, chatting, answering emails, being on social media, and your time is just gone at the end of the day, you have been so busy but not productive. And that won't move the needle for your business. Okay, so you need to make sure that you have enough time for important things. So what you do next is you go to your calendar and you put so-called time boxes in your calendar. You ask yourself, okay, how much time per week do I want for sales? How much time per day do I want for communication? Okay, and then you put this as time boxes into your calendar. And that ensures, well, that you don't forget to focus on all these important topics of your business. And the next important part of your time management system, of your time boxes in your calendar, is that you can communicate these availabilities and set clear expectations. You can even communicate it without actively communicating it, just by having a Calendly link and send it to your team and to clients so they know when they can book a call with you. But you are in control of your time, because people can only book a time and a meeting with you when there is space in your calendar, right? And your time boxes block the time so others cannot use it. It's your time. And now when you use that system and you develop a routine and some habits to really stick to that system, the most important part is to only open your communication channels when you have your communication time box. And while you are in the focus time box, for example, for sales, switch off all other communication channels, switch off Slack, switch off email, switch off your phone, close your door, right? Don't react to anything else. Beginning, that will feel really weird because you feel like you are missing something and the world might go down. But this is not the case. You will see when you open the floodgates, you will still get your messages, but now you have 30 minutes or 40 or 60 minutes to just focus on responding to this message, then switch off your communication channels and focus on something that is really meaningful and moves the needle and grows your business. Okay, so the time management system that aligns with your priority management system is the second component. And the third component is structured communication. And while that's a whole topic for itself that you will see when you watch the video about self-managing teams, the structured communication can be implemented with one simple hack, especially when it comes to how you lead your team. Because if you allow that your team asks you each and every question all day long and you respond to it, well, you train your team that they just get the solution by asking you. They will never be trained to work independently from you and solve problems by themselves. And that's why you end up answering to so many questions the bigger your team gets. So instead of allowing that, announce one Q&A session, potentially 2 Q&A sessions per day, where you reserve 30 to 60 minutes for your team, and your team should send and submit their prepared questions upfront the meeting. Because then they think about what their questions are, they prepare for an efficient meeting, and they learn from each other when they are all in the same meeting, right? I would not recommend to have this meeting with more than 8 people, but up to 8 people, it's absolutely efficient. You transfer knowledge, you train your team on the go, your team knows that you are always available very reliably every day at the announced time slots, maybe twice per day if you want, and they get their questions answered very reliably. Okay, and you can also skip the part of preparing the questions, but I strongly recommend you do that, because you will see that otherwise people, they just show up in the call and they have no idea what they are asking for, and then the meeting is very inefficient. That is important. And also, if you don't get any questions submitted, you can just cancel the meeting. There are no questions, why should you have a meeting, right? And you will see the longer you do that, the fewer meetings you will have. Because people get trained, they learn from each other, and at a certain point, they also start helping each other. Because the knowledge gets transferred from people to people in your business. That's also very important, because if one person quits who has all the knowledge and other people don't have it, you have a high risk. Okay, so you transfer the knowledge and you help your team very reliably. And yeah, that's how you get more freedom, more time for caring about other topics in your priority list. And that's important to grow your business. So just implement your personal leadership system. I strongly recommend it. I have more than 200 people who implemented it for themselves, and they were very, very often so excited which effects it had already on their business and on their personal life. So don't waste time. Now you know what to do. Just go implement it. You know how it works. Cheers.